Hi, this is Bill Eagle from North Central Educational Service District with another eVAL support video. And in this video, I'm going to be recording an observation and packaging some evidence. So I am on Principals A's dashboard in the eVAL sandbox. I'm going to select Teacher A from the menu at the left. And in particular, I would like to see any observations I have set up for Teacher A. Again, there are a variety of ways to get to places in eVAL, but I tend to use the left menu as my go-to. So when I click on observations, I'll see I have an observation set up with Teacher A, and I can click on View to get some details about that observation. It is set up for February 28th at noon for 30 minutes with a post-conference to follow. When I get into the observation, using this tab up at the top, I have set up pre and observe. I will open the observe tab, and this is where I can type my notes for the observation. You've got some options on how you might want to do this piece. Some people prefer to type up notes using a Word document and then cut and paste into the observations notes section. Other people prefer to just take a laptop in and type their notes right in to eVAL during the observation. You also have some options for formatting here and how you will use the notes piece. This little X at the top in the upper left will allow you to go full screen with the note taker. Some people like to not have the distractions of the other portions of eVAL while they're taking notes. I don't mind seeing those other pieces, so I'm going to come back here. And one way you can do this is to just type notes. I'm going to use the bulleted list option, and I might have some things to say while I'm in the class observing. You provided instruction excuse my typos, provided instruction on academic vocabulary at the start of the lesson. Okay, so I've typed in something that I saw in the observation, and I might want to code that. I am using the Marzano instructional framework. That's the one I'm most familiar with. And 2.7 on the Marzano framework has to do with vocabulary. So this is actually 2.7 from Marzano. And I might put that there if I know it to reference later when I want to go back and code some things. If not, I can go back and look up that coding number and have it ready when I'm ready to begin encoding this evidence. So I have preloaded some other pieces around an evaluation here, and I'm just going to dump those in so we can use it to do some sample coding. So once I've got some stuff in here that I'm ready to package or code as evidence, you do that by simply selecting the item and then choosing the particular portion of the framework where this resides. So for example, this first segment on providing academic vocabulary instruction, on the Marzano framework, that's 2.7. When I hover over 2.7, it tells me that is using and applying academic vocabulary as a reminder to me that that piece is 2.7. So I've coded it. It's an 2.7, so it's under criterion 2. And immediately, this little menu on the right now under criterion 2 has a 1. So there's one piece of collected evidence under criterion 2. The next item I had was 1.1 on the Marzano framework, which is about learning goals and targets. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to choose the 1.1, and it is now coded as 1.1. And immediately you see then in criterion 1, collected evidence now has a 1. I'm going to code these other items real quick. I had a 1.2 item, a 1.4 item. So I'm highlighting, choosing 1.4. We add some items from 5 as well. Here's a 5.2. 5.1, I'll choose 5.1 and code. And so you see, to code these items, I'm simply clicking on them, highlighting them, and choosing the appropriate spot in the rubric. We had 3 items now from criterion 1, 3 items from criterion 5, and 1 item from criterion 2 that we have collected evidence for. So when I use the term collected evidence, it simply means that I've aligned this to a part of the framework. Okay. If you want to find more detail about what's here, I could click on criterion 1 and you'll see where the evidence collected was. I had 1 item from 1.1, 1 item from 1.2, and an item from 1.4. Okay, so you can find more detail there. I'm going to now go in and actually align and score some of these pieces of evidence. So I'll start with criterion 1, which has 3 pieces of collected evidence. I can click on the number 3 or on each of these pieces of evidence individually, the ones. If I click on the 3 here and then the 1, it will show me the first piece of evidence here that I collected under 1.1. And you see it here. Observation notes was the type. It was created February 28th, and the content is that statement about essential questions here in the middle. So I have collected this evidence, but I have not packaged it or scored it. If I want to do that, which is a best practice, I'm going to recommend that you create packages of evidence. It's really helpful in the end when you're doing a summative evaluation. In order to do that, I click on the evidence. You'll notice it turns kind of a darker color. And also the rubric for the state comes up down below. So I look at the evidence, I decide this is an example of proficient behavior, and I'm going to go down and go ahead and highlight the portions of the proficient rubric that I think this piece of evidence captures. Now, a couple of things have happened here. Number 1, that yellow highlighting has come up. And number 2, I have this evidence package creation option at the right side. It says this is 1 item and it's been scored in proficient. That's what the P is here. And it asks, do I want to create, use this to create a part of my evidence package? I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And when you do that, it shows now that this item has become part of your packaged evidence. I could edit or delete that using the green pencil button or the red X. If I want to delete that from my evidence package, I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And you'll notice that up here at the top, near the proficient, there's a little gray 1 in that box. That means that I have added something, 1 item at the proficient score as a packaged piece of evidence. You'll also notice that over here on the right hand, my column under collected shows I have 1 item collected and 1 item packaged under 1.1. Notice I haven't packaged any other evidence, so the only thing in that packaged column is really under this item under the 1.1. Now I haven't actually formally scored this item. I've simply created a package. In order to actually score this as proficient, if you want to score along the way, I actually have to go up here and choose proficient. Notice the change in color. The gray box became a green circle and the pro becomes dark highlighted in both spots. Now this is actually aligned and scored. If you don't want to score things to the end, you can simply create the evidence package and leave this unscored. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and score it by choosing proficient. I'm going to check out 1.2. I had some evidence there. So when I click on the collected evidence under 1.2, the little one here, this item from my observation notes comes up. You celebrated the learning with students by providing them with individual recognition of their correct responses through the lesson via positive praise, high fives, and hip hip hoorays. Okay, so I've got this piece of evidence collected. Again, if I want to package the evidence, I click on the box where the evidence is, and I highlight some language in the rubric that applies. And maybe this one was at the basic level. Oops. So I'm going to choose some basic level language. I've highlighted it. It turns yellow. And now I can click on the box that allows me to create evidence in my package. And you'll see here, this packaged evidence now includes the teacher provides students with recognition. It was scored at the basic level, which again, you'll see up here, a little gray number 1. That indicates that it was scored at the basic level. And in my packaged evidence column at the right, you see another item has been added. There's a packaged piece associated with 1.2. I have not scored this, okay, in kind of a final sense. If I want to do that, I actually have to click the box here to do that. And if you're doing more of a holistic scoring, you may not want to do that right away. Just create the package of evidence and leave it where it is. Let's do another one of these items. I'm going to go to 1.4. And I've got my evidence now from my notes. I want to do something with that. Maybe I'll click on it. And maybe this was another example of proficient behavior. So I'm going to highlight some information that matches this in the proficient column. I'll choose create. And I have created another piece of packaged evidence. Again, you see the little gray 1 there. And you just continue in this fashion. I'm going to go down at 2.7. That was about academic vocabulary. Maybe that was more basic. So I'll click on this. I'll highlight the basic language and create an evidence package. Again, if you actually want to score these things, you'll have to go up to the top, click on the button. It will be officially scored when you see it turn to the darker color. And you see the packaged evidence being created is going up here on the right. Once I've done all of this, I will want to share it with the teacher. And I have some share settings here up at the top near the send the final report. Maybe I want the teacher to get a look at this. So I choose the sharing and set up sharing. I might want the teacher to see my notes. Maybe I want them to see my scores. And you also have the option to allow the teacher to do some scoring as well. When I'm comfortable with the options I've chosen, I simply save them. And this information is now shared with the teacher. I might then want to have a post-conference before I send the final report. I usually waited until I'd done the post-conference because I might want to go back in now and change some of these things after my discussion with the staff member. So that's how you document your evidence in an observation and what you can do to package evidence along the way, which will help you quite a bit when you go to the summative evaluation. Thanks for your time.